Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the lab. With you tonight, you have Alex, Brandon, and Lou. Topic for tonight is is injury prevention. I won't go into too much detail here because I'm going to let Brandon rant a little bit. The buzzword, prevention, prevention. So Brandon, since you were so excited to share on this and ready to go on a rant, why don't you lead off on why the word prevention, grinds your gears a little bit?
Because you can't prevent anything from happening. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. You can make your body as strong and resilient as you possibly can. Freak things happen. One wrong plant, one angle's off, one contact that messes the landing, sliding into a base. I mean, you can't prevent something like that from
It's a
happening.
little soon. A
Yeah,
little
it
soon.
is, but
I mean,
you can
wow.
build them up as in Lou's favorite word, bulletproof as you can. And it's not a. I mean, it just happens. I mean, it's part of sports. It's part of competing. It's part of life. It's if we could make every kid injury preventable, I mean, I'd be the richest man in the world.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. I'd be out of a job.
And on
You're
top of
welcome.
that, to like piggyback off of or whatever, a lot of people don't understand that the more like practice, the more games, or like the longer that you're sustaining this in terms of like years, the more likely your chances of getting injured are like obviously they go up. You're exposing yourself to that. It's like, I don't know, seeing how close you can get to a fire without burning yourself, but eventually you're gonna get a little close.
Hmm.
But I mean, because some of these kids they're playing the same sport year round, and I mean that's the nature of the beast nowadays. I mean, heck, I bet Ryder played shit. I don't know, uh, more games than an MLB schedule in this
Yeah,
last calendar year.
that's a lot of throws on that one arm. It's a lot of extra pushing off that dominant leg. This is, I mean, you're just continuously pounding the same movements over
Yeah,
and over again. And it's just a ticking time bomb. Something's going to give eventually.
yeah,
You can only maintain a healthy kid for so long before like this the overuse injury just starts catching up to itself.
yeah, yeah. You can't be 100%, 100% of the time.
Oh, in a perfect world, a perfect world. So the word that I would maybe use instead of injury prevention is just risk management, right? Not necessarily going to be like Brandon was already saying, you're not going to be able to control every single factor and every single outcome in a game, practice, training, whatever it is. I mean, heck, Brandon, you went running and you had that wonderful little ankle roll, right?
It happens.
And you just pulled how many different PRs in your last set of training, and then all of a sudden that happened. Like you were moving, right? Like it's going to happen no matter
I
what.
barefoot train all the time. I do all these kind of ankle stability exercises. I mean, it's just weather conditions played a role, and I hit a rock wrong, and it just nothing really I could have done about it. I mean, it just happened.
Went
Mhm.
sideways. It said hello. Um,
But I use the word just injury reduction. I mean, it's just
mhm.
going to try to reduce the likelihood of of something happening.
Yeah,
And if
yeah.
you're
Catastrophic injury. You want to
you're
keep
kind of
it.
tailored more to like if you kind of have a some kids are just more susceptible to females, but even kids that just have naturally laxative tendons, and you're going to try to do everything you can to build around the surrounding muscles and surrounding joints, things like that, to kind of reduce the likelihood of something happening, but it's not guaranteed.
Mhm.
I can't take you seriously with that cattail just hanging out around your chin. Oh,
She's just looking for that light off my watch, ready to
man.
go.
That's too funny. Uh, no. So in a perfect world, if you could control every single factor, first of all, we would all be out of a job. Um, Two, the fact that the whole point of as soon as there is that, the likelihood of the injury, depending on the type of sports. I mean, some of the sports that have higher increases in contact, so like, your um, football players, wrestling, I mean, basketball's notorious for rolling of the ankle. Cross country runners, being out on uneven ground all the time, rolling of the ankle. Gymnastics, shoulders can be, and lower back can be a wonderful, wonderful time for some of those kids. Um, I to say that with the thickest amount of sarcasm possible. So that's why, like, when you're starting, you want to talk about injury prevention, um, or risk reduction, getting in the gym and getting as strong as possible is probably one of your best bets, one of the best things you can do. I mean, as much as we want to talk about, we can go back to an old episode, sports specific training versus general training, right? How often do you guys ever utilize sports specific type training for risk reduction type things?
It's not really so much as sport specific. It's more like it's athlete specific.
Yeah.
Just because I got a kid that plays basketball doesn't mean I'm going to do more ankle stability. If I got a freaking wrestler that just happens to roll his ankle when he's walking, I mean, I'm going to address the issue.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, a lot of it's just building the base. The stronger and the bigger that you can have the base of strength training or just having that base foundation, then that helps with the injury prevention later on. If you're training your muscles, training your ligaments, training your tendons, like with ultra high reps and stuff like that, the likelihood that it tears is reduced a little bit. Not down to zero.
Yeah,
But
heck, you want to take that to the highest level of play. Look at the NFL. Nick Chubb, for example. I mean, Trotter, that probably broke your heart a little bit that year. But think about how much that guy was squatting before the season even started, right? I mean, he did, what was it, like 500 something or 600 reps? Like, it just looked disgustingly easy. And then he goes out there, foot gets planted, knee gets driven back, tears ACL. What was it? ACL, hamstring.
There's something different one. Forget what it was. He had very similar injury in college as well.
Yes.
At Georgia. Very, very similar. Planted like that, got hit from the side, bam.
Yeah, 2023 November. Torn MCL and ACL. Oh,
It looked way worse than what it actually was.
dang.
Oh, it looked like it blew the whole thing out.
Yeah.
That makes you wonder, like, if he wasn't doing what he was doing, like, what would have happened?
Yeah, right.
I don't know if I want to know. That's
Yeah.
already pretty significant to begin with.
Yeah.
Talk about, like, how bad, like, was it Alex Smith? I mean, shit, he almost lost his leg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Or, I mean, you put, and this isn't like a shot towards him, but like Devontae Smith. And, he's carrying the ball instead of Chubb on like the Eagles. Like, he's only 160 pounds, 165.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think your leg's going to break off. It's just going to be attached with skin.
Another person you could talk about is Joe Burrow. He's
Andrew Luck 2.0.
Because he tore his ACL 2 seasons ago. He was pretty good this season. He wasn't horrible. He broke his thumb or did something to his wrist. I don't know. I haven't really
Tore something in his.
Yeah.
Whatever it was. Freak. I mean, just again, freak injury.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows where that even came from?
Yeah. I say they can come in all forms and sporadic random things. I mean, there was a 1 year, didn't he break his thumb? No, Justin Fields broke his thumb last year, hitting the hand off of a helmet. Like, you can't prepare for that. There's no way you can prepare for that. It just happens. So, I'm trying to think.
I forget if he said. I think AJ did too. I think he like dislocated a thumb maybe from somebody trying to rip it out.
Gross.
I can't remember though. I'm pretty sure.
Disgust. I would never want to break my thumb.
No.
Oh, I don't like stubbing it, let alone trying to break it.
Yeah.
That's why I can't. I got a suicide grip every time. That's how many times I stubbed them. Like, I can't wrap my hands around the bar.
Mm-hmm. It just hurts right now.
You hook grip?
Oh.
No, like, when I'm benching, like, hook grip's okay, but like if I'm benching, I got a suicide grip. I can't put the just fucking
bar
hurts
in
my
there.
Yeah. On the bar there.
thumbs just been too beat up.
Thought you were invincible, man.
I didn't even play in professional sports. That's just wear and tear. That's normal life wear and tear. do some factory work for 5 summers, and now just going to shit.
Can't win them all. Can't win them all.
Yeah.
So, in terms of injury prevention, I hate that word. Risk reduction, injury risk reduction. For those of you who are 3-sport athletes, maybe what would be some advice for those who maybe don't have as much time to get into the gym, who are constantly rotating between sport to sport to sport, and then summertime rolls around, you think they're going to have time off, and nope, it's AAU time or it's club time.
Make time.
Make time.
Make time.
Okay, what else?
Yeah.
And you can handle, 2 to 3 days a week for, 30, 35 minutes.
Yeah.
The weight room's a secondary accessory to your actual sport. It's not like the main thing. You want to get better at basketball. You got to get better at, handling the ball, shooting, all that other stuff. But, if you want to be able to handle the load of a basketball game, the secondary part is the weight room, the conditioning aspect of it, things like that. The more stronger you are, the more resilient you are to injury, and your pain tolerance is higher. So maybe if you do like roll that ankle, and it turns into being like one of those things you can walk off, and instead of having to take 2 or 3 weeks off.
Use Jake as an example.
Oh
Then
yeah,
he rolled the shit out of his ankle, played.
Yeah, he rolled his ankle, 2 or 3 times a freaking almost a week, it seemed like, and he was just always being taped, always being out. Never missed a game, but it's always questionable leading up to the game. Do you have your starting point guard? And then all of a sudden, one time he took a shot, landed on somebody's foot. It happens, and the ankle snapped. The whole crowd gasps that thinks he's done because it's happened time and time again. And then he just pops up and takes a couple steps, walks it off, keeps going. And we put the countless hours in the summertime focusing on building them ligaments, tendons up.
Yep, paid off this season. That's for sure. The difference, like from his performance, and I'd even say like his confidence from last year, just from like a bystander.
Yeah, player of the year in the conference, and all district team Ohio, and so
yeah.
Wow.
You're only going to be able to get them kind of awards if you're healthy.
Yeah,
true.
And earned himself a scholarship.
Yeah, so he plays a little next year. Same thing like the NBA now. You got to have the max. You can only hit. You got to play 65 games or whatever to get the postseason awards.
Yeah.
That's a freaking 65 out of 82 games in a whole basketball season at the professional level where you're playing back to back to back to back almost sometimes. Like you gotta keep your body.
And you have the best facilities as far as like recovery, like there too.
And a lot of the people still ain't making that qualification, like some of the top guys.
I think LeBron only paid a low 50s last year. That's why he couldn't win MVP or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
How much
you wonder if you factor in load management and stuff like that.
What?
I said, how much money do you guys think LeBron James puts into his rehab?
1.9 million.
Yeah, a year. He's talked about it before.
Not his rehab, but like his total body, his nutritionist, physical therapist, recovery, dietitian, strength training.
Yep, all that.
$5 million. Wow.
So I might not. It's like it's the 1.5, 1.9. I think it's slightly under 2.
So $1.5 million. Still
a bitch. Still not the GOAT.
Still blew that 3-1 lead.
Oh man. No, so if there's anything you guys take away from tonight's episode, injury prevention is a myth. Really just get in the weight room, critique your craft, get better at it, work on the skills. As Brandon was saying, the gym is just an adjunct to your overall success. So if there's any questions you have a variety of different resources here at the lab. So feel free to reach out to them, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.